Hello there everyone, this is Fazle back with another video, and today I'm going to show you how to create a dynamic nested menu using PHP and MySQL. On the first part of this video I showed you guys how to do the front end part of this nested drop down menu. If you haven't checked that out, first watch that video. Besides that, you can use the same method with any kind of drop down menu that today I'm going to show you. So let me show you the database design first. So as you can see, I have this database called mega menu, which has a table named menu, and in this table I have three columns which are ID, main menu name, and parent. So the first 5 items, which has the parent value of 0, that means that these items doesn't have any parent. And the next 2 items, which is gallery A and B, has the parent value of 2. So that means that on ID number 2, the gallery item has 2 submenu, which are gallery A and B. So basically I'm going to use this table to contain the menus and their parents. So same method goes for the other items. Suppose here services BA and services BB, which has the parents value of 12. So let me see, on the 12 ID, the services B has these 2 items of children. So these 2 are the children of services B. So in this way I have stored the data in my database. So now let's move forward to my VS Code. So these are the files that I have created previously. And I am using XAMPP to create my localhost, and I have created a folder called Dropdown, and I stored those files here. So let's open the VS Code and let me see here. Let's hide all this, the HTML, hide them, and create another 2 files. One is index.php and another is db.class.php. so basically this is a class file. I am going to use this file to configure my database. So let's see. Let's close this tab right now. So let's create a class of db and put some variables, some private variables like server name, which will be localhost. Let's copy this one and paste it couple of times. The second one will be username, which is obviously root. Then after that, password, which will be empty. Then the db name, which is my database name, is mega menu. Then for the connection, after that another, no, I don't need that one. The connection will be nothing. I will not initialize any value in that. Now let's create a constructor function, construct and give it a try and catch. So on the first item, let's initialize something there in that connection item. So create a new instance of PDO. So I'm basically using PDO for my MySQL, which is the most secured way if you are using MySQL. Let's first element, which is the host, will be server name. Copy this one, then put a comma after that, not comma, semicolon, then db name, db name of this db name. After that, this username, then provide this password. Okay, then put some attributes there for connection. Set attribute of PDO attr error mode, then PDO of error mode exception. Okay, I am done here. Now let's throw a PDO exception here. Exception of E. So if the connection fail, then there will be this error of connection failed. Then concatenate that error, which has a built-in method of get message. So my connection is ready. Now let's move to, I'm going to create a function here for the query, which will take an parameter of query, then statement is on. I have to prepare the statement first and pass that result argument, then again statement, then execute spelling mistakes, then execute method. After that, return that statement with fetch all. It will fetch the values and return this by using this function. So in this index.php file, let's copy everything from here, paste it here. I don't need this HTML tag, HTML values. Then what else? Let's start a PHP tag here, and first I need to include that file db.class.php. After that, what else? Let's create an object by creating an instance of the db class. Now fetch all the results by calling the method query. Is it query or not? Yep, query, and send an uh, query of a MySQL query of select all from the table, which is the table name menu. Then paste it here. So it will basically fetch all the items from the menu table. Let's print this and check if I get all the values from the table. It's showing some error. Define class constant and remove exception. Okay, so I did something wrong in the class, which is set attribute tier node exception. Okay, so this is a spelling mistake here. It will be node. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's working, but undefined variable resulting line 24. Okay, let's see. What is the error? Uncaught video exception skill state thrown in select all from menu. Select all from menu. Okay, this will be a query, not result. Okay, yes, it will work now. Yep. So I have got all the results here. Now let's move forward to more stuff here. So I need basically two functions here. First one is HTML with two parameters. One is data, then the second one will be parent ID, which will be initially 0. Now let's create another function here with HTML and two parameters. First one is data, then second one is menu. So let's finish the first one. Now let's iterate over the data. So before get into that function, let me call this function. It will be menu, right? Yes. And I will provide the result as argument here and iterate over this data and check if the value parent, if it's equal to the parent ID, which will be initially 0, then I will call the second function here and send the data value once again and all the value here. If it matches the parent ID, which will be initially 0, and then okay, let me finish the second function, then I will try to explain. Let's give it a counter of initial 0 value, then for each same as this one, iterate over the data, and if this, let's copy this one, if the value parent is equal to this ID, Then let's increment the counter. So let's give it an if condition and check if this counter is greater than 0. Then I will echo my li what else, not this one right now. Give it a class of drop down, then href of after that finish this here, and what else, let's give it a single quotation here. Concatenate that you see first menu name, then let's end that here, and ul, let's finish that ul tag here. I made some mistakes here, let me find that one. Okay, I need to finish that quotation here. Okay, after that let's call the function once again and check the if the id matches with that parent here. So what I'm trying to say here is initially the parent will be 0. After that the next items, which is gallery A, gallery B, services, and those parents, I will send those IDs on the first. I will send those ID on the first function, and I will check if that ID matches with the parent. So let's give it a menu of ID here. And after that, let's finish this echo. Oh my. Okay, this is done. Else, what else? Let's copy this thing. I don't need this one. If there is no nested items, then I don't need to call that function again. I don't need that drop down either, and no ul. Let's copy this one, finish it here, and then finish that here. Yep, I guess I am done here. Let's check this if it's working. Okay, there is some main okay, I guess I mistyped that function name, which will be menu. Okay, now it's working. So what I'm doing here is basically I've created this function of menu, and I'm providing two arguments, which is data, and the second one is parent id, which will be initially 0. So in this for each in this for each loop, I am iterating over this data, which is the result, all the values here, and I am checking if the parent ID matches the parent of this value. Then it will call the function HTML, and I will send those all the values again, and with the matching items, which will, if the condition, if this condition is true, then I will send only those values here. After that, here I am going to check if, once again, iterating through over this data and checking that if that ID, which will come from this value, if that ID matches the parent, then I will count, I will increment the value of count. After that, I will check if the counter is greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, then it will get into this uh, get into this item. If it's not, then it will show these items. Let's hide this one and see. So those items which has nested value, those are not showing here because I commented this part of the code, right? So let me show you, if I don't put all the code here, what happens. So what is happening here is basically initial value of the parent ID is 0, so all the values that has no parent, so I am printing them out first. After that, hide this one, then a counter of 0. Then I'm going to check if these if these values ID, menu ID, matches with the parent ID, then I will increment the counter. After that, here I will check if the counter is greater than 0, which means that these values have some childrens. So if those values have some childrens, then I will echo this one with the drop down class, and once again I will send it to the previous function to check if those values have another nested item. So it's kind of a recursive method to check if the nested items have multi-level of nested items. If it doesn't have any nested items, then it will go to the else and print this value. So let me show this one here. So it's one kind of nested one kind of a recursive method to check if the nested items has another nested item. So it will do this continuously until it doesn't find until the data, iterating of the data ends. Before finishing this video, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Mubarak Hussain, which is who is my senior where I used to work. So I learned this from him, and I did some of my modifications here and there, but the basic concept I got from him. So as you guys can see here, the nested items are working both in the desktop menu and also in the mobile version. So that's it for today, and I will catch you guys later.